What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing my reaction to Manchester City exiting out of the Champions League at the hands of Real Madrid, going out 4-4 on aggregate, losing 4-3 on penalties at the Etihad Stadium last night. And I'm sure I speak on behalf of all Manchester City fans right now when I say that we are so disappointed, gutted and deflated right now, because overall, looking at the performance, picking up a tremendous result at the Bernabeu, 3-3, not losing that game, having things very much in our own hands, knowing that we've got to go to the Etihad Stadium, take the game to Real Madrid, put our opportunities away and win the game. It's a result that Manchester City managed really well last season, and I was extremely confident going into this game that City would be able to replicate that Real Madrid wouldn't be able to live with the quality that Manchester City can possess, in particular from an attacking offensive point of view, and we just didn't really see that. So we're going to digest what might have gone wrong, what could be City's viewing points going forward, and also other little bits and bobs that I managed to pick up from the game. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, do subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. Also, don't forget social media links there in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget to leave your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. Do leave a thumbs up as well, that would be much appreciated. Let me know that you are enjoying the videos. And finally, I want to say a big thank you to SofaScore, today's video sponsor, who are going to keep you up to date with all the latest scores from around the grounds in the world of football. They're also going to keep you up to date with all the latest statistics and all that other little bits of analysis that you guys love to enjoy, as well as all the latest scores from all the other sports that you guys love to go and check out. It's a free app to download. Anyone that does use my link to download the free SofaScore app does help to support the future content created here on my channel. It is a very highly rated app, so do go and check it out. As I said, it is free. Links and details, they are in the description. So, Manchester City, I want to speak about the teams first and foremost. Seeing Akanji start, I was debating in the build-up to this game, so I was nearly spot on with my team prediction. Only one difference was I had John Stones starting for Manchester City ahead of Manuel Akanji. I thought Akanji would have been the one to miss out. Kyle Walker, once he'd been declared fit and ready to go for this game, came as no surprise that he was going to be starting, so he'd be going on the right-hand side. Gvardiol had a really good game at the Bernabeu, so he was always going to start, and City just like to go with Ruben Dias as our centre-back. So who's going to go alongside Rodri and go more into that defensive midfield role, the John Stones role? Well, it's either going to be John Stones or Manuel Akanji. I'm going to presume that John Stones just wasn't fully fit, so Akanji went into that role as well. And if John Stones was fit, I'd have preferred to have seen him go in instead of Akanji. It is what it is. And I remember speaking openly and honestly yesterday, because I was at the Etihad Stadium watching this game, and this is the kind of match where you've just got to sit there and be open and honest about things. And to me, Manuel Akanji, I think he's a brilliant defender. I think he's a fantastic option for Manchester City. When you're going up against Real Madrid in the Champions League quarter-final, from a defensive point of view, if Kyle Walker wasn't fit, I'd be more than happy for him to start there. If Gvardiol wasn't fit or Ake wasn't fit to go on the left-hand side, I'd be more than happy for him to go there. Now, I think there's a time and place where you want Manuel Akanji, a centre-back at the end of the day, going into a very different role in defensive midfield. There's games where I don't mind seeing it to experiment against it. Luton Town, for example, that we had at the weekend. I don't mind seeing Manuel Akanji starting in defensive midfield in that game. When it comes to Real Madrid, I want Manchester City to be going for the very best, the creme de la creme. And if John Stones is fit enough for me to be on the bench, John Stones is fit enough to do 60-plus minutes here for Manchester City. And I'd rather have had 60-plus minutes of John Stones, take him off and put Akanji on, rather than vice versa, because Akanji by the end of the game was looking really tired, as was De Bruyne, as was Erling Haaland as well. So, and Akanji, I'm not criticising him, I'm just making the point that I think there's better options for Manchester City in that role. I think he's a wonderful player. I've got no problem when I see Manuel Akanji's name on the team sheet. I'm nitpicking because this is one of them games that's fine, the finest of fine margins. These are little differences that is noticeable when watching Manchester City play against some of the very best teams in the world, like what Real Madrid are. Sitting top of La Liga, they're no mugs. They've shown that they can adapt their game, they can play creative, attacking, flowing style of football like we saw at the Bernabeu. The kind of team that can score 2 goals in 2 minutes and turn a game upside down. They've showcased in this game they're also the kind of team to get down and dirty, to frustrate Manchester City, to give us no space, to park the bus. Real Madrid parking the bus against Manchester City. Number one, it's a great honour that Real Madrid respect us that much that they've got to come to the Etihad and park the bus, but they managed to execute their game plan near enough to perfection. The only thing that went wrong for Real Madrid was Man City grabbing that goal from Kevin De Bruyne later in the second half, because everything else just flowed for Real Madrid with what they were looking for. And as I said, it's just the finest of fine margins was the difference here between City and Real Madrid. I could argue a case that there was just no difference. There was no separating these two teams, and it was always just going to be put down to the lottery of penalties. But head to the stats, look at the stats, guys, and you will see a tremendous difference on what you saw at the Bernabeu to what you saw at the Etihad Stadium. Real Madrid, 33% possession, 8 shots, just 3 on target, come away with a goal, managed to take this to extra time. This is stats are including extra time. It's guided them all through extra time and straight to penalties. Manchester City have had 4 times as many shots than Real Madrid in this game. 33 shots, 9 on target, 1 goal. Frustrating, very frustrating. City not at their clinical best. You have to be at your clinical best when you're playing against Real Madrid. Anything less, you run the risk of going out, and that's exactly what happened in this game. City, having nearly 1,000 passes, had more than double the amount of passes than what Real Madrid have had. Corners, Real Madrid had just 1 corner kick later in extra time. Man City had 18 corners, putting balls into the box. They were getting into good positions 25 yards out from the penalty area, and they were not having any shots. They were just pinging balls left and right, crosses into the box. It just wasn't linking up. It wasn't working. It was crystal clear in the first 15 minutes of the game that it wasn't working, and yet City didn't do very much to change things up. It was just a very patient game, patient build-up, and it was frustrating because had City not found that goal through Kevin De Bruyne, I would have been so frustrated from this game. When that goal went in, the stadium erupted, and it was out of frustration because Manchester City dominated this game. Manchester City should have won this game. Manchester City probably should have scored 3 or 4 goals when we're thinking about it, and that would be more than enough to have sent us through. And at the end of the day, I think the most frustrating thing is we've got to look at it and say, we haven't played a bad game. We've dominated this game at the Etihad Stadium. We've not gone through because we quite simply haven't put our opportunities away. Now there's other things we can speak about. Speak about the lineup. Erling Haaland not involved in the game once more. Man City finding no way to get him involved in this game. Very much looking isolated. He was man-marked out the game at the Bernabeu. He wasn't even being man-marked out this game. He just had no supply at all, so it was completely ineffective, and because of that, City's attacking line just looked nullified. It looked like it had no answers. Phil Foden playing out wide, putting through the middle. He looks so much better through the middle than he does out wide. Jack Grealish, he had a good game, I thought. Jeremy Doku had a brilliant game when he came off from the bench. I'm not entirely sure Man City find the equaliser if it weren't for Jeremy Doku coming on. He caused problems ever since he came onto the pitch. I thought that was a good use of a substitute there from Pep Guardiola. So there were some things that did work. There were some things that did go right. But there were other things that just weren't linking up. And at the end of the day, I think I'm putting this Man City going out of the competition. It's not a defeat. We drew this game. We've gone out on penalties. It's a completely different phase to the game. So it doesn't, to the record, to the books, doesn't count as a defeat. So Man City are unbeaten in the Champions League this season, yet we're out of the competition, which is pretty mind-blowing. But we go out on penalties. But I look towards the team selection. I don't think that's to blame. What I do think is to blame is that first half performance from City. Just wasn't good enough. Real Madrid finding a goal after 12 minutes completely turns the tie on its head. City needed that first goal. They needed a quick opening goal, take the game to Real Madrid. It was just so careful. Man City played this game like it was a league game. Manchester City played this game like it wasn't a must-win game, and it went like that right through the whole game. And by the second half, when City were getting on top, it was very frustrating that we weren't finding the back of the net, because to me it just felt a little bit too casual, and we needed that injection of urgency to come in the first half, not in the second half. City take the lead here. I think Manchester City sailed through to the semi-final. We didn't. Real Madrid played the game. They grabbed the opening goal. They then, in the first half, growing confidence. They keep it to 0. It's the game plan that they were looking for, to frustrate Manchester City, for them to grab that goal, to have them something to defend and work with. A very closer, compact, tighter game than what it was at the Bernabeu. It was a bit of a free-for-all. Both sides seemingly not very happy with it being a bit of a free-for-all, and I think Manchester City just held themselves back a little bit, and I think that's my only regret I have from this tie, holding us back. I just wanted us to do what we did last season, which was no respect for Real Madrid. We're just going to attack, we're going to score goals, and we're going to go through. We had that aura, we had that arrogance last season. I've not really seen it that much this season at all from Manchester City. And I think that's one of the most disappointing things that I've seen from City so far this season. But there's no reason why City can't regroup, reflect, and push themselves forward again. We've got a cup semi-final, FA Cup semi-final on Saturday. Dust ourselves down, try and pick up a good result. If we can get through to the FA Cup final, that would be brilliant. We've got the Premier League in our own hands somehow over the last couple of weeks. Can't afford to let that slip. And if we can come out with a cup double, the Premier League and the FA Cup, it's still an outstanding season. But there are lessons to be learned. We want to win Europe's biggest prize. We want it to be back-to-back treble winners, something that's never been done before. It isn't that fairy tale ending that we're looking for. There's lessons to be learned, and they need to be learned very quickly from City. I'm gutted. I'm disappointed. I wasn't a fan of the referee in this game, but I don't think that's the reason why City have ended up crashing out of the competition. I weren't a fan of Real Madrid's tactics. Jude Bellingham always chucking himself on the ground as well. I didn't think that was a good look for him, but he's not going to care, because he's now in the Champions League semi-final and Manchester City aren't, and that's what we have to deal with now. In terms of the stadium itself, so many half and half scarves in there, so many neutrals. Man City put criteria now. Bigged up Man City's praises on doing the criteria. I think Man City needs to be doing a little bit more to ensure that tickets aren't being resold to make sure these tickets are going to genuine Manchester City fans, regular going Manchester City fans who weren't able to get tickets for this game, and yet they're seeing other people who aren't Manchester City fans going to this game, various social media influencers and things. It's very frustrating out there. So I think City need to be doing a little bit more when it comes to ticket control as well, and allowing Manchester City fans access first into the stadium, because yesterday I didn't think the atmosphere was too bad. In particular, I was up in South Stand level 3. Atmosphere I thought was actually pretty good, but there were so many neutrals in there. There was plenty of Real Madrid fans in there. I'm looking towards the away end. The away end wasn't sold out, so I just didn't comprehend. It didn't make sense, and I think City need to be doing a little bit more, because, you know, having 50,000+ passionate Manchester City fans in there, not neutrals, passionate Manchester City fans watching, ready to go, create the noise, create the atmosphere, could just make that bit of a difference. The fans very much, to me, are the 12th man. I think the atmosphere was too bad, but there's certainly different ways City could go about it in just trying to make the Etihad Stadium a little bit louder, a little bit more of a fortress, and really help generate, because in these big games, these are the games that matter. At the moment, City have fell short, in particular at the Etihad Stadium, against what I consider any team that's half competent. Big teams in the Premier League, teams that are doing well in the Premier League, and big Champions League games. There's been shortcomings throughout the whole season, and I think that's something that City need to have a look at and try and get over if we are to get across the line and win the Premier League. Final note, penalties. Obviously, Luka Modric wasn't a great penalty. It was a great start. Fan holding on to the ball for nearly 2 minutes. Maybe disrupted Bernardo Silva. I don't know what he was doing, going for that chip down the middle. Just didn't work. Normally quite a good penalty taker as well, Bernardo Silva. It's one of them things. Real Madrid have perfection after that Luka Modric miss. And we saw Kovacic come off the bench in extra time, takes a penalty. Not the best of penalties. It misses. we crash out, we have to deal with that. FA Cup, Premier League still to go at, plenty of reasons still to be optimistic, plenty of things still to be learnt as well, still plenty left in the season, so we go again. So, they'd be my thoughts. Do let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. Don't forget as well to subscribe if you're new around here. Press that red button, press the bell, and put your push notifications on. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Email also in the description too. If you want to hit me up for any sponsorships or any videos or any general business inquiries, do leave a thumbs up as well. 100 likes is the aim, and do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. Thank you very much to SofaScore for sponsoring this video. Do go and check them out. Links and details there in the description. Remember, it is a free app to download. Finally, I will have my match vlog. I know some of you guys won't feel like watching it, but put a lot of creativity, a lot of hard work and graft into providing a good quality video for you guys to enjoy. So I will have that up later on today for you to go and check out from my match experience of this Real Madrid game. So I would appreciate anybody checking that out. That would be great. That will be up later on today. So I will see you for that. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.